Good morning. This is the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. My name's Dave Burney.
I'm Jeremy Scheib. Good morning.
7:31, 10 degrees outside as we finally, Jeremy, received some moisture over the weekend. Came in a mixture of all sorts of things, rain, freezing rain, ice pellets, and snow.
Yes.
But we got some.
Yes, we did. And it's sticking on sidewalks everywhere. And if you tried to scoop it up, you just kind of had to do your best and call it good and hope for some sun later on.
Yeah, apologies out here. We scooped yesterday and we could get some of it down to bare cement, but in some spots you just can't do it because it kind of packed in and froze down. And we'll need some sunshine, but 2100s, that's a lot more than we got all of last month. So we'll melt it into the ground. Hopefully it will do some good. We got some cold weather ahead the next week or so, and some more chances of some moisture. So more winter-like here in March than it was before. We kind of knew maybe that could happen.
Yeah, and I saw some farmers trying to get some things down on top of the soil before this precipitation came into the area the last couple of days too. So I think hopefully they got all the land that they wanted under their belt.
Yeah, we saw some dust out in the fields, and they were getting some of that done. And it won't be long. We'll be looking towards warmer weather. Also, just to kind of give you an idea how close we are getting to spring. Of course, March officially starts in the calendar in spring, but we'll be moving our clocks forward 1 hour this weekend, believe it or not.
Great.
So we'll go on daylight savings time Saturday night going into Sunday morning of this weekend. I know the chamber banquet is this weekend.
Yep, on Saturday.
And so the folks that go to that, they're going to not only stay up late, they're going to lose an hour.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah. You always love it the other way when you'd go, when you'd go out when you turn your clocks back an hour.
Yeah.
I always remember that. You know, you'd be out at that weekend during college, and you get to the point where, you know, the establishment you were at would close, and they'd be like, "Nope, we've got another hour." And you're like, well, I was actually looking forward to bed, but okay. As
of 12 o'clock. Speaking of getting sleep and so forth, how's Isabel doing? And the new little girl at the house, is she getting some sleep? Are you getting some sleep?
Yeah, she's doing good. She was sleeping when I left, and so was Mom. So she's doing good. She seems to like sleep quite a bit. She's staying awake during the day, and at night, you know, just every few hours, Nicole gets up and feeds her. But when I've got to start, you know, getting up and taking every other feeding, that'll be a little bit different. But
yeah, and it can change along the way. When they're first born, that's what they're all about, is getting some sleep and getting something to eat. Later on, it'll change up a little bit, but I'm glad it's going well. And you know, some kids are always they cruise through that, and then some get fussy. It's hard when they can't talk. They could just tell you.
Yeah, if she likes sleep half as much as Nicole and I do, we'll be good. She'll like sleeping.
It's probably in her DNA. That's good to hear. Exciting day today, as we have 2 ball games today and a boys ball game tomorrow at the state tournament. They got to get these games underway because the fans are just, you know, have been so excited about having the 2 teams down there, 2 lady teams, and I think Brent's going to have a heart attack if we don't get these.
He's chomping at the bit.
Oh my gosh. You'll be in here last week, and you know, every other conversation I'd look over and he was going, "Gosh, I hope things go well down at state." And he just excited about it. And Gavin and Brent will be having the calls for you today from Lincoln, Nebraska, as the Broken Bow Lady Indians play and Anselmo Myrna ladies play today.
Yep, 10:45 is the tip time of both of their games. And Anselmo Myrna is the 4 seed taking on Sterling. They're at Lincoln Northeast on KBBN. And Broken Bow is taking on Gothenburg for the 4th time this season, this time at State, and they are playing at the Devaney Center at 10:45. So you can tune in for the Broken Bow game on KCNI. And also remember, websites and free apps for listening as well. If you have some family members that want to listen from a distance, They can do so completely free online or on the app. And, of course, you can listen for free on the radio as well. We kind of believe in the side of, we've got some great business sponsors that allow us to bring those broadcasts to you rather than having the cost go to you in some way, shape, or form, which we're aware that those avenues are out there. But if you're at work today and want to get some work done and not be distracted by a screen, those guys will describe it for you and would love to have you listening along.
Yeah, well, they've been following these teams all the way through, so they'll give you a real good picture of what's going on. And as you say, if you're working and you don't want to sit down and don't have the time to do that, or you just rather listen to it on the radio,
or you're afraid your boss would be mad at you.
Yeah, that's very
watching
important.
A game.
Yeah, very important.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole nother story. That's Brent Apperson telling me it's part of his work when he's watching the Cubs.
Oh yeah, sports. Yeah. Does he do many stories on the Cubs?
No.
That's what I thought.
He doesn't do. Well, he talks about them every day, but he doesn't actually do a sports story.
Yeah.
So
he probably wants us to become Cubs baseball affiliates.
Well, he'd love that. Yeah.
I would.
At one time, we were Kansas City affiliates years ago. Never been Cubs. Yeah. This is, if you're celebrating a birthday today, and I didn't get any in, so we know there's birthdays out there locally. If you're having a birthday today, you're celebrating with Brian Cranston, 66 years old today. You might remember him as the Walter White in Breaking Bad.
Yes.
Woo. Jenna Fisher is 18. She was the receptionist, Pam, on The Office, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amanda Gorman, 24 today, the young poet, the first ever National Youth Poet Laureate who worked, or I should say wowed everyone with her poem with the title of that one, The Hill We Climb, at President Biden's inauguration. That was very impressive. And Peter Wolff is 76 today. Wolff was a lead singer and front man for the Jay Giles Band, of course, their big hit Centerfold, and they had others. And he's very good on his own as well. We have some of his music that he has put together on his own as well. So those are some birthdays today for you.
Awesome.
School lunch menus. Let's take a look.
Okay.
I think you might have more than I do, so I'll let you start there this morning, Jeremy.
Okay. Today's the 7th, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. First, we're going to go to Anselmo Myrna Public School, where they have home-style chicken and noodles with dinner roll, country fried steak with dinner roll, or a chef salad with roasted flatbread. The
Broken Bow Middle School and High School, a little bit of the same of Anselmo Myrna, but a little bit different as well. Barbecued rib sandwiches, home-styled scalloped potatoes and ham with dinner roll, fresh baked ham and cheese sub, and crispy chicken salad with roasted flatbread, vegetables, fruit, and milk at AM today.
In Arnold, hamburger on a bun.
All right. Sumner Eddyville Miller showing no school today.
At Ansley today, they are serving up scalloped potatoes and ham.
And at Gothenburg today, they show mac and cheese, chicken fajita bowl, and pizza. Now, some of these schools that are at the state tournament may not be having classes today. These menus, of course, were made not knowing whether the teams would go. So
sure. At Sargent today, they are serving corn dog or plain dogs, chips, baked beans, fruit cup, milk, and salad bar.
Sandhills Dunning, chicken nuggets, French fries, and green beans.
And that's all I've got over here.
Okay, that's all I have here. So let's move to the game this morning. I don't know what your subject matter is. Again, these are provided through the Broken Bow Library. Joan Burney bringing those for, what does she have for us today?
It's Women's History Month.
Oh, good.
So throughout the month, we're going to test your knowledge of the groundbreaking women of rock music. I like that.
That's good.
All right, so here's your question. You guys have a normal you go to on Mondays for a prize?
I don't know what Brent does on Mondays. Whatever you like.
What about a dilly bar?
Oh, dilly bars are always good.
Mm-hmm.
At the Dairy Queen.
All right, so get ready to dial 872-2801. Here is your question. Her first band was Big Brother and the Holding Company. She loved the blues. She had a voice like no one else, and she never held back. who was this Texas-born legend? Was it A, Maria Muldaur, B, Cass Elliot, C, Bessie Smith, or D, Janice Joplin?
Okay. Yeah.
Is that a toughie?
No, I'll give you a hint. One of Mike Evans' favorites.
Oh, there you go. 872-2801. Are prairie dogs wreaking havoc in your pastures? Then get rid of them with Rosol from AeroSeed. Rosol is a restricted use pesticide approved for use on prairie dogs by licensed pesticide applicators between October 1st and March 15th. Rosol is an easy-to-use bait that provides excellent acceptance, has superior weatherability, and proven reliability. Rebates of up to $7 per bag are available. To learn more about Rosol, call or stop in to AeroSeed in Broken Bow.
All right, even though she is Mike's favorite, Mike Evans' favorite, some other folks out there on this Monday might be a little foggy. The correct answer is?
Janice Joplin.
Yeah. And she's one of those artists we were talking off the air. You either really like or you don't, because it was a very raw blues sound that she brought to the stage. And you either liked it or you didn't. I personally loved it. Mike Evans, to be honest with you, doesn't like it at all.
Yeah, very polarizing individual as well.
Yeah, she was. She was kind of a wild one.
Yep.
Today on our show, before we close the show, we'll be giving away a $25 gift card to Livia's Boutique in Ansley today. That'd be a dandy. So we'll be doing that before we close the show today. Can you believe how we continue into the month of March with these? My goodness, this has been a blockbuster, hasn't it?
I think we're going to be wrapping it up sometime this week, though. So if you haven't won one of those, certainly get ready to call and win yourself one of those. I could find a way to spend $25 anywhere, really.
Oh, yeah. Or get a head start on buying something.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tomorrow we'll be giving away a $25 certificate to Gun Sense in Mason City. So be sure and listen for that tomorrow. But today it's Livia's Boutique in Ansley, Nebraska. Well, let's just go ahead and play a song that I think is by Janice Joplin that most people will like.
Oh, okay.
This would be one of her most famous songs and her most mellow. I believe it was written by Chris Christopherson.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And it's called Me and Bobby Mcgee.
If you're looking for a position that will be really fulfilling, and I say that because you'll be working with children in most of these positions that they have available that we talk about. This particular position is an early childhood infant toddler teacher located in Broken Bow. It's a full-time position with a starting wage between $15 and $16.50 per hour, depending on your qualifications. Benefits include health, dental, life, and vision insurance, flexible 4-day working schedule, 11 paid holidays. You get your paid birthday off, and you get an employer-matched retirement up to 3%. Qualifications required include a CDA certificate. They prefer AA or BA in early childhood, a valid Nebraska driver's license and working phone, and previous experience working with infants between 0 and 3 and their families. Your general duties will be primary care and lesson planning for infants and toddlers, and conducting parent meetings and completing various reports. So if you need an application, contact CNCAP at 745-0780 extension 0, or you can apply online at centralnebraskacap.com. Again, that is for an early childhood infant toddler teacher, and just in general, probably a good idea to keep up with what jobs Central Nebraska Community Action Partnership has available at any given point. And usually they've got some pretty good positions they are hiring for their team.
All right, thanks, Jeremy. Nate Bell was in last week at Universal Insurance Agency and was recommending or suggesting to our agriculturists out there and the farmers right now, if they have a time where they have time to maybe look at their insurance policies going in to the planting season and the rest of the year being very busy, to make sure they're covered on equipment that maybe they've added, or equipment and so forth that they've gotten rid of. This is a good time to do that. Nate's kind of inviting everybody to come in.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not even so much about whether you have or don't have insurance. It can be about being over or under insured based off of the valuation of what you are wanting to insure. Universal Insurance can make sure that you are properly insured on all of your equipment, and can make sure that your building values are at the appropriate levels before you get busy with planting season. Now is the time to talk to them. Call Universal Insurance in Broken Bow at 872-6438, or stop into their office right off Highway 2. Universal Insurance Agency, a division of GTA Insurance Group.
All right. Thank you, Nate, for being on The Breakfast Show. Appreciate that. We have some more jobs available out there. Nebraska Land Hearing, we'll want to talk about that in a little bit. But as far as jobs go, Custer Electric and Irrigation is looking for a good employee. They're going to really gear up here this year because of, I think everybody knows how important the irrigation systems are out there, and they've been working on them already. The snow might slow it down a little bit, but they need some help.
Yeah, and these job details are available on sandhillsexpress.com under the employment page if you would like to go and check them out on your own time as well. If you enjoy working with your hands, working outdoors, and being part of a team that sees a job through every time, Custer Electric and Irrigation is hiring starting immediately. The ideal candidate will have experience in some of the following: irrigation, electrical, welding, fabrication, mechanic and diesel knowledge, or if you have a CDL license. Experience is preferred but not necessary. They will train the right candidates. Pay will be based upon work ethic and experience. This is a full-time position with paid time off, and they would love for you to be a part of their team. At Custer Electric and Irrigation, experience the difference. Call Lance today, 880-1507.
Thank you, Jeremy. Steve is here from the grocery cart. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you fellas?
Pretty good.
Doing good.
What do you think, Steve, the top cereal is in the United States? I have data on that this morning. I wanted to kind of test you.
Oh, that's a tough one because there's kid cereals and adult cereals. And
Is it grape nuts?
I wouldn't say grape nuts, no.
Nothing beats a good bowl of grape nuts.
First.
Or how about Wheat Bran?
Wheat Bran. I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, my first indication that came to my head or inclination would be Cheerios.
That's a good,
Man,
good standby.
this guy knows his groceries. The top one is the Honey Nut Cheerios.
Yeah.
Wow.
I could have told you that. I just went with the generic answer.
Yeah. And then Frosted Flakes, and then Raisin Bran, number 3. Captain Crunch, number 4. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, number 5.
All those came to mind, so I guess.
And Fruit Loops not even in the top 5.
It's number 10.
That's no surprise to me. That is a trash excuse for a cereal. I will die on that hill.
Well, what about Lucky Charms and Rice Krispies are good.
I like Rice Krispies.
And
A lot
Apple
of those
Jacks.
that you named, I add sugar to, which kind of defeats the purpose.
Right.
But you got to add sugar to Rice Krispies.
Have you ever had Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
One of my favorites as a kid. Yeah, it came out when I was younger.
Well, where's
And,
the chocolate ones? You know, they don't have a lot of chocolate cereals here.
Cocoa Pebbles
Cocoa
and
Puffs.
Cocoa Puffs. And
Oh, man, that's like eating a bowl of chocolate in the morning.
I loved
Or
it.
Cookie Crisp. That was a classic.
nice.
Cocoa Puffs for energy, Cocoa Puffs for fun.
Was that the slogan?
Yeah. Anyway.
Evidently, that cereal came out when you were young.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, you had to let them soak just a little bit, otherwise the roof of your mouth got sore.
Well, that's
They
Captain
were
Crunch
pretty brash.
Right
They'd
Yeah.
be tough on your roof of your mouth.
But you have all those.
there. We have them all. And then some.
And then some. That's what I was
You
going to
got
say.
a whole
Have
aisle
you been
of
in
them.
the grocery cart? Yeah, there's a lot.
The cereal selection and all the selection in the stores are almost too much anymore. There's cereals, you know, the themed cereals like Little Debbie cereals and you know, it's just it's crazy. And I heard there's going to be Little Debbie ice cream coming out somewhere somehow.
And then every time they come up with a new one, you've got it. Steve's like, well, now I've got to find space for it in the
Right.
store.
Where do we put that?
Yep, that's about it. Right now, you know, this time of year we could almost keep it outside.
Yeah.
I always joke with my frozen manager, Eddie, are you going to have a sidewalk sale today? Haven't had very many days like that this winter.
You could do like libraries do, build the shelves higher and have those those ladders, the ladders that are on sliders.
Boy, that sounds like a lawsuit waiting to happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, you know, the grocery business is like a lot of businesses, as you say. There's more and more brands. People like more and more variety. You have the store to be able to offer that.
Yeah, it's a nice large format. Don't let the outside of the store deceive you if you haven't been in it, which I'm guessing most of you have. It definitely can deceive you. It doesn't look like a whole lot from the outside, but definitely get inside because it's a nice store.
Big white aisles and it's great. And I don't know, what are we coming up on? What you got through St. Patty's Day is coming up.
Yeah.
Easter, of course, people start thinking about Easter dinners and so forth. So what do you have for us?
Well, let's talk about it. We've got a new free products with points list, so I'll mention that briefly here. March 7th today through April 3rd, so you have about a month to get on those. There's large eggs, dozen, Sloppy Joe mix, Velveeta skillet meals, Red Baron pizzas, Arby's and other frozen fries, facial tissues by Best Choice, applesauce by Best Choice, Rotel canned tomatoes, 24-pack spring water by Best Choice, 5-pack mac and cheese by Kraft, Dorothy Lynch, a lot of our favorites here in Nebraska, and Best Choice deli sliced cheese in the dairy. So a lot of great items on there to choose from to use your points. Of course, you can always go to Casey's and redeem your points there. Get some money off of your gas, which is super high right now, and that's always nice. How do you earn those points? Well, you shop at the store like you always do, and you earn 5 points per qualified dollar spent. Plus, we have our VIP meat rewards going on right now, so load up on that meat while we have that going on, and the bonus items that are featured in our ad each week. We'll talk about those here in a second. March 7th through the 13th is the ad run for this week. We've got 85% lean ground round. Ground fresh daily, $4.58 a pound. We also have center cut boneless pork loins, 8-pound average, $1.98 a pound. Country style boneless pork ribs, $2.98 a pound. And Grocery Cart's premium aged choice certified Angus beef, eye of round, steaks or roast. It's a nice way that Andrew puts that in ad to support the steaks and the roast, especially during times of cold weather where the roast is definitely in order for sure. We've got the best choice boneless, skinless chicken thighs, 2.5-pound bag, $7.78. Fresh frozen boneless, skinless chicken breast fillets, $3.98 a pound. That should be, $3.98 a pound on those. So definitely pick up that chicken this week. Oscar Mayer hot dogs, $2.48, or Bar S Franks, $1.68. Franks and dogs.
Franks
and dogs.
Franks.
There you go.
I mean,
Whatever you want to call them.
Maybe your dog's name is Frank.
Either way, it's long and skinny.
And in the summer, it might be hot. So, anyway, moving on. Dairy deals at the GK. We've got Daisy cottage cheese, 24-ounce varieties, $2.80 each. Blue Bonnet spread in a bowl, 45-ounce container, $3.58. Frozen foods department, banquet mega bowls, $2.78 each. Totino's pizza rolls in a bag, $6.98 each. Encore meals, $2.98 each, and kids cuisine dinners, $2.38 each. So whether you're looking for a nice little mega bowl or an encore meal that could maybe feed the family, or the kids cuisine, or a variety of all, you've got the frozen meals to suit your needs this week at the GK Frozen Food Department. Of course, all these departments, I'm not reading every ad item, so definitely check that ad out at the Facebook, GK Facebook page, or go onto our website and take a look at all the good things, plus the ads that are currently running. Grocery savings this week, Coca-Cola products. You've got the 8-pack bottles or 12-pack cans, 3 for $14. 6-pack half-liter Pepsi, 3 for $12. Cubes of 24-pack cans for Pepsi, $8.98. Frito-Lay kettle chips or Lay's chips, 2 for $5. Frito-Lay Cheetos or Fritos, 2 for $7. Had those Fritos with some chili on Sunday. Made some chili this weekend, so that's a nice thing to maybe think about with the cold weather that is upon us and possibly some snow. So maybe hunker down inside and have a nice bowl of chili. Mm-hmm. Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, 18-ounce varieties, 2 for $3. Continuing on, we've got some pantry fillers here, or some cupboard fillers. General Mills cereal select varieties, 4 for $10. Well, guess what's on there? Honey Nut Cheerios, Cookie Crisp,
Number
Lucky
one.
Charms.
Nice.
Yeah. We also have Kellogg's Pop-Tarts, 8-count, $2.48 each. There's some other great items here. Fiora Mega Kitchen paper towels or bath tissue, 6 to 12 rolls, $6.98 each. Purina Dog Chow, 20-pound bag, $13.98. Keebler's Zesta Saltine Crackers, 16 ounces, 2 for $5. And Shore Lunch Soup Mix. This is a dry mix that you can make at home. It's $2.68 a bag. So definitely get in for all that and more at the GK Grocery Department. Farm Fresh Produce this week. Got to make that corned beef and cabbage coming up on the Irish holiday. We got to take care of that. We've got what you need. Crisp green cabbage, 48 cents a pound. Brayburn apples, 98 cents a pound. Bolthouse Farms whole carrots, 2-pound bag, $1.28. 3-pound bag of yellow onions, 2 for $4. D'Anjou pears, $1.28 a pound. 3-pound bag of California mandarins, $5.98. Definitely get those while they're on sale. Produce prices are a little high like everything else, and when they're on sale, it's a great time to pick them up. So get all that and more. Fresh deli this week. You can pick up some Mrs. Jerry's deviled egg potato salad, $3.98 a pound. Kretschmar mesquite smoked turkey, that sounds good, $7.48 a pound. And maybe get some of the cheese that we have. A lot of varieties of cheese from Troyer and Kretschmar as well, while you're getting some of that mesquite smoked turkey. Daily specials, the easiest one to remember is that Wednesday wings, but then there's Monday Chester's No. 3 tender meal. We have Tuesday Chinese cuisine, back for a limited time, so get in on Tuesday for Chinese cuisine. Thursday Chester's No. 4 2-piece chicken meal. And Friday, fish and shrimp. So a little bit of variety in this week and during Lent. So be in for the deli meals this week. Pick out your favorites. Of course, there's always hot and tasty Chester's chicken. You can get pieces, tenders, packs and sides, cold sides as well. And there's a lovely amount of great sides, meats and cheeses, grab-and-go items down the way. So check out all that the deli at the GK has to offer. GK Bakery this week, fresh baked turnovers, 3-count, $3.48, one of my favorites. Rotella split top hoagie buns, whiter wheat, 6-count, 2 for $6, and JJ snack pies, 5 for $3. Wine and Spirit Shop always has a lot of great varieties back there, so definitely check out that selection. Pick up your favorite or a new favorite. Plenty of local favorites as well as Nebraska favorites in that department as well. Rewards bonus items, last but not least, in the deli we've got Mrs. Jerry's bag of mashed potatoes or macaroni and cheese. It's a 5-pound bag. So that's the same potatoes and mac and cheese that we sell in our hot case. So if you love those potatoes or the mac and cheese, and I know you love the mac and cheese, $11 per bag, plus you get 1,100 points. So definitely pick up those. Nice side dish for the family at home. Starkist Chunk Light Tuna in oil or water, 12-ounce can, 2 for $5, earn 300 points. Stonefire Pizza Crust, this would be a bakery item that's located on the slants over by the milk dairy department area over there. Those are $2.98 for the Stonefire Pizza Crust, 300 points each. Dakota Brand Summer Sausage in the meat department, $3.28, earn 400 points. Playtex Feminine Products, 36-count, $10.48, 1,100 points per. Yoplait Fridge Pack Yogurt, $5.95, earned 600 points. Best Choice Gold Potatoes, 2 for $6 for a 5-pound bag, earned 300 points. Eggo Waffles in the frozen department, 2 for $5, earned 250 points. So you can earn all those points, no limit on those rewards items. And so a lot of Easter candy, Easter coming up in aisle number 1. In fact, there's a lot of spring items as well. We've got in a lot of bubbles, sidewalk chalk, maybe not going to be used this week, but keep that in mind for future shopping trips. And definitely the Easter candy. There's plenty of that on hand. We ordered a little extra this time around. Make sure you get those Easter baskets filled, those Easter eggs filled up properly. And sushi is out of commission again for a while. We'll keep you posted. I don't know when that'll come back to business again, and we'll just see what happens, hopefully soon.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, the news is telling us that gas and groceries are kind of under the gun as far as increases go. I mean, that's not a secret because of the world situation out there. And I think people realize that the grocery cart and others who are selling groceries can't do much about what the cost is coming to them. But you guys work hard to have these specials where people can do some shopping and save a little money to kind of cushion the rise there.
Right. Whatever deals we get, we try to extend to our customers, whether it's in an ad form, which we get a weekly ad plan, and we extend those savings to the customer as well as the TPRs as well. We have to stick to our budget, so we do have to increase our prices as the costs rise. We definitely want to stay in business and be a viable business for the community for a long term, and so unfortunately prices do have to go up, but yes, we work hard to make sure that we extend as much of a deal to our customers as possible. Plus we have the rewards.
Yeah, the rewards probably make it even a bigger deal on those reward bonus points now.
Yeah, we've paid out almost $200,000 on we did pay out more than $200,000 on gas and almost $200,000 on free with points items for the duration that we've had the rewards program. So a lot of savings that have been had there, and we appreciate everyone using that because we benefit through the sales, but you also benefit through the discounts on the free items and the gas. So.
Okay, all right. How about one last question?
Sure.
Do you have the salt to throw out on these slick sidewalks?
We've got some. Yeah, we hadn't really bulked up on it because
why
we've had
would we?
such a mild winter, but we do have a few bags, and the other thing is the blue bag of the softener salt would work for that too. The blue-colored bag. It's a granule salt as well. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Steve.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for coming in and having fun with us. We'll always enjoy it.
Always.
We'll take a break, catch up on some news.
Dave and Brent.
You two guys.
The Get Up and Go Breakfast Show.
CBS News special report. President Biden will hold a video conference today with the leaders of France, Germany, and Britain as Russian forces continue to pound Ukrainian targets. Correspondent Charlie Daggett is in Kyiv.
They are literally shelling residential neighborhoods with weapons that aren't directed. And wherever they land, they land.
Ukrainian parliament member Lysia Vaslenko tells CBS Mornings,
"We do not have the capability to shoot down every single Russian missile, rocket, or bomb that is flying onto the territory of Ukraine."
At least 1.5 million Ukrainians have fled their country. Daniel Dirov helping with some of the 1 million in Poland.
All these refugees, they need shelters, they need medical care, and many different things. So, and thanks God, Polish nation support now the Ukrainian nation.
Ukraine's presidential advisor says Russian attacks have left over 900 communities in his country without electricity or water. CBS News special report. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Here is a look at state news. I'm Gavin Higgins. Traffic was brought to a halt after a crash near the junction of Highway 81 and Highway 13 on Thursday of last week. According to Cody Thomas from the Nebraska State Patrol, the accident occurred at approximately 12:45 p.m. Thursday near Hayter. Thomas said that a Dodge Ram pickup was pulling a U-Haul trailer traveling northbound on Highway 81 when an eastbound Chevy Blazer traveling on Highway 13 failed to yield the right-of-way and struck the driver's side of the northbound Dodge Ram pickup on Highway 81. The collision caused the Dodge Ram pickup to strike an overhead light pole that fell across and blocked the northbound lanes of Highway 81. The Nebraska Department of Transportation removed the light pole from the roadway. The roadway was reopened after approximately 90 minutes. The driver of the Chevy Blazer was treated and released at the scene. The driver of the Dodge Ram pickup was transported to Faith Regional Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Norfolk Fire and Rescue and Hayter Fire and Rescue responded and assisted at the scene. Sydney Public Schools announced a former educator will return to serve in an administrative role at the high school this fall. According to a press release from the school system, Ryan Plummer was named the new Sydney High School principal Friday afternoon. He takes over for Chris Arndt, who is leaving the school after 10 years to become the new superintendent at Potter Dix Public Schools. Arndt will remain the principal through June. Plummer is currently the principal and activities director at Layton Public Schools. He returns to Sydney after a year away. Prior to his time at Layton, Plummer was a business education teacher, FBLA sponsor, senior class sponsor, and coach at Sydney Public Schools.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Eddie Garcia.
Checking NBA games of note. It was a rematch of last season's NBA Finals as the defending champs beat the team with the best record in the league this year with the Bucks over the Suns, 132-122. Chris Middleton, 44 points for Milwaukee. Jason Tatum had 54 points for Boston and a 126-120 win over the Nets. Overtime for the Nuggets to knock off the Pelicans, 138-130. Nikola Jokic, triple-double, 46 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. He had 30 points in the fourth quarter alone. Jazz over the Thunder, 116-103. Bogdan Bogdanovic, 35 points and a franchise record, 11 three-pointers for Utah. College basketball, number 20 Illinois beat 24th ranked Iowa 74-72. Nebraska knocked off number 10 Wisconsin 74-73. Memphis a win over 14th ranked Houston 75-61. Michigan beat number 23 Ohio State 75-69. Longwood wins the Big South tournament title for the first NCAA tournament appearance ever. Loyola Chicago wins the Missouri Valley Conference tournament title.
Here's your weatherology forecast. A winter storm watch goes into effect on Wednesday coming up. First across the area for today, we'll see mostly sunny skies with high temperatures working up into the upper 30s. Winds a bit breezy from the north and northwest. Then for tonight, mostly clear skies, a low of 13. For Tuesday, trending partly cloudy with highs up to 46, and then snow likely Wednesday, upper 20s. For the Weatherology Weather Center, I'm staff meteorologist Michael Carroll.
Whether you love them or can't stand them, surprises are a part of life. Hi, I'm Janet Lawhorn.
And I'm Tim McCaslin.
Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, and we can help you get ready for whatever life throws at you, even the welcome surprises. As your needs change, we can change what you need to do to help you end up where you want to be. And while there is never a good time to experience unexpected costs, we can work together to help you make them feel a little less unexpected. Call us at 308-872-6849 or visit edwardjones.com to get started today. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Currently 13 under a clear sky. Winds out of the northwest 5 to 10. Barometric pressure's up 2 points now at 30.26. Humidity at 84%. A trace of precipitation from some snowfall yesterday evening that lasted for just a little while. Just put a little skiff on top of some of the ice that froze overnight. So be careful out there. We did pick up 21 hundredths as of 7 o'clock Sunday morning. So that's the good news. There's some moisture in that. High yesterday was only 24 with an overnight low of 9 degrees. Sunset today at 6:35. Sunrise tomorrow morning at 7:03. That's weather and news here on the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Jeremy Scheib filling in for Brent Apperson, who is probably getting really, really hyped about right now.
Yeah, he's shoving everybody out of his way at the continental breakfast at the hotel this morning or something. I don't know.
Yeah, him and Gavin are excited about being down there. They'll be calling the games for you. 10:45 tip-off, but we're not sure yet. I haven't heard from Brent, and I don't know if you have either, if there's anybody ahead of our announcers or not at those particular booths. So
yeah, if there is, we might start the pregame here in the studio and then send it to them live and do it that way. If there's nobody in front of them, they'll be able to start their pregame from right there at the sites. So it should be a lot of fun either way. It's been quite the ride throughout the season for all of our area teams that made it to state. You know, some of them, like in the case of Anselmo Myrna, third time was the charm. They made it to a district final 3 years in a row, finally got the win this year to go to state. Broken Bow to state for the second year in a row. And for the Mullen boys, you know, they pretty much could have a rental down in Lincoln. They keep making it to state so often in girls and boys basketball and just in other sports in general. It's just, you know, the last 6 or 7 years, a majority of those years, their boys basketball team's been down there at state, which is awesome. So congratulations to all of them. I know that they want much, much more out of this season, but Central Nebraska is already pretty darn proud of you.
Yep. And also Burwell, they've had success in all kinds of sports for a long time, and they'll be there. And, of course, kind of, you know, you almost hate that Broken Bow and Gothenburg start out playing each other at the tournament. It'd be nice if they was in different brackets and could meet later on and not meet head-to-head first game. But that's the way it is, and so we want to you acknowledge the good season that Gothenburg's had as well. So.
Yeah, and there's no secrets when you play each other 4 times in a season. You know the ins and outs of everything. So it's going to be one heck of a chess match in that game. You know, the coaches, do they come in and say we're going to do the same thing we've done in the past? Will they make crazy changes that the other coaching staff has to adjust to? It remains to be seen, but either way, it'll be a lot of fun.
Yep. Coach Cooksley mentioned in the interview that Brent featured on the news this morning that he thinks it'll be a tight contest due to the fact that they all have been pretty close, and he looks for a low-scoring contest. So we'll see if his predictions are going to hold. And Anselmo Myrna, I believe Brent lost a close one to Sterling during the year, a few points. So it's going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. It's going to be fun. And then, of course, as you mentioned, Mullen tomorrow, and there'll be other radio stations covering some of the other teams that are nearby as well. It's always exciting, and then you already start thinking about track. This kind of weather makes you think about track because this is the kind of weather you have when you have track.
Exactly, yeah. You've got your tent, and you put all the walls on it, and all the kids bring 3 or 4 blankets, and they just try to stay warm in between their events. Yeah. And I see in the area, several track coaches have already pulled hurdles out onto. Those track coaches are chomping at the bit to get out and start practicing and things like that. But they pulled the hurdles out right in time to have them snowed into a drift.
Yeah, so that's the way that works.
Gonna have to wait.
And I know that the Legion baseball teams are already working on some things inside and have been for a little while now, and they'll really get rolling here when the state tournament's over and they get a little warmer weather and can get outside. And it's an exciting year because we'll be having the state tournament for the seniors this year at Paul Brown Field here in Broken Bow in July and August. So that's going to be a fun thing to have here, and I know that the teams want to shine when they're going to be hosting the state tournament here. So yeah, we're just kind of winding this winter season down and getting ready for the spring sports and summer sports.
It's going to be a busy time.
Parents, get ready if you have kids in softball and baseball, Little League, T-ball. There'll be sign-ups for those if there hasn't been some of those already. They give you plenty of chances, but if your kids want to play, kind of listen and watch, and we'll try to let you know when the sign-ups are for the kids so they can get in and have some fun. And, that's kind of a compressed season anymore compared to what it used to be years ago. You used to finish up Little League Baseball when fair was going, and fair was further into August back then. Pretty much done by the 4th of July now for the Little Leaguers, the little guys and gals. Some of the club teams go ahead and play longer, depending on if they're on a club team or not. But it's kind of fast and furious for the parents when they start having, especially if they have a girl playing across town and the son playing in Callaway or whatever the case may be. So it's get ready to get up and run time. So,
yes.
We have some music from the Stereophonics for you. It's called Maybe Tomorrow.
trapped and multiply. And then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and stay healthier. Join over 2 million others and find out for yourself how refreshing and easy to use Navage is. At Navage.com, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
OMG.
Over 2 million people, Dave. Over 2 million people.
What, have mucus in their nose?
Yeah, more than that, have mucus in their nose. I can tell you that much.
Oh, Lordy. All right. So, moving along, let's change the subject to National Flapjack Day. Now, flapjacks are pancakes. And I like these articles we get because it kind of gives you the history. And it's kind of amazing how long things have been around, or maybe surprising that they haven't been around longer, or where they originate from. So many things that we eat actually come from Europe and places like France and Italy because, the migration to the U.S., those recipes came with them. But this one is, the flapjacks have been around 300 years.
That feels about right.
300 years. Early American settlers ate flapjacks that were made of rolled oats, honey, and butter, and baked in the oven. And in England, they were known as oat bars.
Sounds a little bit more gritty than what we know today.
Yeah, it doesn't come in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, again, that really came from England. That came over with the folks who helped settle the United States, and pancakes came with them. This is an interesting note here. National Be Heard Day. There are 147 million small businesses operating in the U.S., and it's easy for them to be overlooked. So it's National Be Heard Day. Encourage small businesses to make some noise about what they do and what they do to get their name out there. We're right in the heart of that. We're mostly small business in this area, and we know how important those small businesses are. You were just talking about sponsorships we have to bring the ball game to the listeners out there, and they do things like that. They also provide products and services in our smaller communities in rural America. And there are small businesses in big cities, too, that are very important. Little pizza shops, little butcher shops, little, antique shops, whatever the case may be, a big part of the economy. And usually those are family owned. I think that's what really is important about small businesses. They're mostly family owned and sometimes passed from generation to generation.
Well, and if you start thinking about the different definitions of small business, sometimes people consider a small business to be 25 employees or less or something like that. And then if you consider that, it's like, well, like 95 to 99% of businesses around you are small business by that definition.
They are, yeah. We've got just the guy to talk to about that in just a moment. Keith Ellis is here from the Custer County Economic Development Corporation. Small businesses. Do you mind talking about that, Keith?
Yeah, we can have a great conversation about small businesses.
Okay, stay tuned. We'll do that right after these words from some small businesses.
Ansley Lumber and Supply is locally owned and operated and proud to be your full-service lumber yard. From premium lumber and top-quality building materials to paint, tools, and ag supplies. When you drop by Ansley Lumber, their crew is prepared to help you with your project. From the materials for building a house to the accessories and pieces needed to make it a home. Ansley Lumber and Supply, Main Street, Ansley, or call 308-935-1815.
Varney Health Mart in Broken Bow loves stocking great items for spending time together with friends and family. You simply need to go in and see their selection of puzzles, featuring scenery, animals, flowers, and even animal-shaped puzzles. If you're proud of your work and want to keep it together forever, they have puzzle glue too. New puzzles and more are at Varney Health Mart in Broken Bow. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care. At the Callaway Good Life Center, their hometown facility offers the security and comfort of a small town with the advantages of city living. They offer speech, occupational, and physical therapy for their residents. Visit CallawayGoodLife.com for more information.
There's a difference between treating the pain and treating the problem. At Pearson Physical Therapy, we strive to not only reduce your pain, but actually treat the underlying cause so that you remain pain-free, even after you finish physical therapy. If you're frustrated by pain that keeps coming back, Pearson Physical Therapy can give you the tools that will keep you moving pain-free. Call Pearson's in Broken Bow at 308-872-5800 or check us out on the web at pearsonpt.com. Get the treatment you need and the care you deserve at Pearson Physical Therapy.
It's 8:30. You're listening to KCNI, KBBN Radio, Broken Bow, Nebraska. Good to have you along. Keith Ellis is here from the Economic Development Corporation of Custer County. How you doing?
Good morning. Top of the day.
Same to you. You was traveling yesterday from down south up this way, and you ran into some snow, huh?
Ran into snow just west of Grand Island. It hadn't really accumulated too much until I got, Ansley maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'm glad that you made it safely.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Good. Good to see some friends and family. And
yeah, it's my oldest son and my birthday are about at the same time, so we celebrate
good.
together. So
what are you, about 42, something like that?
Yeah, that's a good number. Yeah.
I thought so. I was just remembering back, and I think you're in your early 40s.
I think it's double sixes now.
So we were just talking about small businesses. To be, I guess, frank about it, sometimes we don't maybe brag enough on small businesses and talk about them enough, because they certainly are the heartbeat of this area, along, of course, with the huge one, agriculture. But we all feed off one another. But small businesses, talk about what you think about how important they are.
Well, I grew up in a small business with my dad.
Yep.
And so at the men's clothing store. So I have an appreciation for small business and what it contributes to the community and the region. You just think about the different things, even in your business, the advertising that small business does, and supporting athletic events and different things that you do and as part of your business. And so they are really the heart of the community. And you get a lot of one of the things we work on is what are we doing with these young people that graduate from high school that don't go on to college or they take a couple years in the school and then they come back or whatever. But those are the people that are in these small businesses.
Yeah.
There are more and more now that are getting, the degrees and coming back home and starting their businesses. Entrepreneurship is big. And so, they are the heart and they are the rural roots of our area. And so it's really important. They employ a diverse group of people, from a high education level to people who are just the clerks and the staff in a small business. But their expertise is amazing as they continue their experience in small business, whether it's retail or services. And now, of course, we see more service-based small business than we do retail. But
yeah, changed a lot.
Yeah. But the important factor that people really need to respect about small businesses, they're the ones that get there at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're there till 5 and 6 in the afternoon. And they're every single day. Maybe they'll take a Sunday off or Saturday afternoon off, but they are there every single day. They bring in merchandise or they have their services, and that money cycles through the community. That's probably one of the more important factors of small business. All that money circulates back through the community, and that's where we get our economic growth from, is from that dollar being circulated throughout the community.
Keith, I've noticed this because of the business we're in, and I'm not knocking small businesses that are, let me just put it this way, small businesses that have local investment, or the people you're talking about, families or young people coming back, as compared to companies who put small businesses in communities. I'm not afraid to say it. I just can tell you truthfully that the people who are locally invest in the small businesses put more back into the community than businesses that are a chain or a corporate chain of businesses. Even though they plan a business in a small town, and they do some good things. Don't get me wrong, but the people who have ties here or have made their home here. Jeremy's a good example. He moved here from down by Omaha, not in Omaha, and willing to, individually get involved. I just think they're a little bit stronger in that area than some of the chain type businesses.
Yeah, and I think in most cases the corporate level kinds of small business, I think if the managers locally had an opportunity to do more, they would. I think it's a corporate directive. Unfortunately, that's kind of the way it is, and you just have to work through that and try to find ways for them to be a contributor in the community.
100% agree with you. The people who are a lot of times running the stores, they're just directed. This is the way we do. This is the way we do all our stores, and you cannot break the rules on that. And that's unfortunate because I think those businesses could benefit greatly if they would loosen the strings on the local managers a little bit.
And we have the same thing as far as membership for our organization. Those large corporate directives, they don't contribute into chambers or economic development groups either. I mean, it's just unfortunately, it's something that would be nice to be able to have a conversation with some corporates and talk about the take coming out of the community. I mean, they still have all that labor, all of that payroll coming in and the taxes and the things that they do contribute. So they do play a role. It's just that we'd really like to have them, as you pointed out, to do a little bit more.
Yeah. No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not knocking them because they hire people. Yeah. They pay their salaries. They pay taxes, and so they do all of those things. But if the companies would just, as you say, loosen the strings a little bit on some of the managers, I know they would do it. I know they would be more involved in community activities as far as raising money and so forth and that sort of thing.
And we see, and I've seen it all over the country, but the larger manufacturing corporations, even the ones that are headquartered as Becton Dickinson, I mean, they're headquartered in New Jersey.
Right.
But they are, you really see those manufacturers contributing to the community.
You do, yeah.
The industries and the manmanufacturers do, and it's probably just more of that large box retail kind of thing, But, here, you just had Steve on, I mean, grocery cart, Gary, I think they do a good job of contributing and doing their thing. But
before you came back, and like every community that had a PMIDA, they've lost those. That's kind of an example. But the gentleman who used to run it did exactly what you're talking about, and we nicknamed him PMIDA Bob, and he would come out and he would do the breakfast show, and that guy was carrying out. He was carrying out what people purchased to their cars for them. Really a personal guy, got really involved in the community, even as the manager of PMIDA, and he was doing a fantastic job, and he was a good example of what happens when you get more involved in the community, no matter what size small businesses, as Jeremy said, are. In our mind, small businesses can be pretty big in our world, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, it's an interesting dynamic these days. I saw where Amazon, I believe, they were putting in bricks and mortar stores all over the country, in some parts of the country, in more metro places, where you could go in and exchange things, and they might have some things there for you. And unfortunately, I heard the other day that they're pulling some of those out. Now they're going to change them into something else. They're trying to get in the brick and mortar side of things, but so far it hasn't worked as well for them as Amazon.
What's that remind you of? Sears catalog stores?
Yeah. Montgomery Wards.
Yeah. Kind of cycles around a little bit.
It does. It goes full circle. Yeah. So that's what we were talking about. What do you want to talk about today?
Oh, my gosh. Well, let's see. I had a whole 7 hours to think about this. Let's see.
Driving time.
I think that maybe just talk a little bit about Economic Development 101. Just,
all right.
What do people expect from economic development, from organizations that work with businesses? What are the things that are most important to them? And it's so diverse out there what people think. And so I thought I'd spend just a minute or two talking about some of the basics of economic development. And the number one thing of economic development is the growth of the economy, whether it's the job or the company you can recruit into the community, and the taxes and the payroll and the things that are of an impact because of that. And so, economic development, its primary mission is to grow the economy through whatever means that we can. And that can be small businesses. About once a month I get a call on a startup on a small business, and so that's promising. That's good, and it's still very viable to do that. And so I just want people to, if you look at that from a general statement, okay, so we're growing the economy of the community. What does that take? So you talk to any group of people sitting at the coffee table on a Monday or Tuesday morning, and they're wondering, well, what's CEDC doing this? Why are they doing this, or why do they do that? It's because you have to have a diverse level of actions to impact the economy. It can't all be focused in one area. And so it's important that we have, right now, one of our priorities, of course, is the housing and workforce housing, because if you don't have a place for people to live, they're not going to move here. Or you want people to move up in their homes, and you have that whole cycle of moving up in homes and quality and from startups. And so you got to have that to keep these young people here. And so it's really important that we have a workforce housing program. We have a really strong workforce housing program. And so I think a really strong program that is getting quite a bit of action. We're going to be building, just talked last Friday, potential of 2 houses in Broken Bow and 1 in Callaway this year, potentially.
Great.
And so hopefully we're going to be able to get that done. And so, and then, of course, things then tier down from the workforce housing as it stands right now with, you have business retention and expansion and startup, which was our number one ranked. If you go back to our survey, that was our highest ranked priority, was to continue to retain and expand and recruit and start businesses. And so that's been a high priority for us as well. And because of that, we now have a business coaching team of some gap financing organizations, and they do small business plan writing and really coaching people through the startup, the pre-startup of getting the things from the kitchen table napkin to down on a plan. And so we had our first meeting 2 weeks ago now, I think, with a business, and had a really successful first meeting with that. So anyone who has an interest in starting a business and just doesn't know, where to go, what to do, what's the first step, give me a call. We'll go through and talk a little bit about that, and then we'll bring in the business coaching team. And it's like sitting at the kitchen table, just like we are right now, just sitting here having a conversation, and the person will or group, whoever it might be, will just explain their idea. Here's what we want to do. And then the experts will go, okay, well, have you thought about this? Do you know you shouldn't be purchasing the property until you know exactly where you stand on XYZ and those kinds of things. And so we help coach them through that first initial phase. And then one of those entities will take them on and help them write their business plan. And so that helps elevate the success rate, or determining that it's not a viable idea and that it's not going to work, and they either need to change it around or do something else. And so we work through that. So that's another high level of economic development is the business startups and retention and expansion. You have to take care of the people you already have here. whether it's small business that has employees, one person or two people or 500 people. You have to take care of your people in your businesses, and so that's important. We're doing business roundtables this year where we're going to be going around to each of the communities in the county and do a number of them in Broken Bow, but business roundtables. 4 to 6 to 8 people, business people representing their business, and we're going to spend an hour and a half in those roundtables, and we're going to talk about what's important to them, what are their barriers to their business at this point in time, what are the legislative issues that they might have, or maybe there's a regional or even a local issue that's is a barrier to some component to their business, whether it's shipping, a lot of different things. Yeah. And so we're going to be doing that throughout the rest of the year. We're going to be doing Anselmo Myrna businesses in the second half of March. And then we're already started to work to do some in Callaway and Sargent and Ansley, and they'll be spread out. And then Broken Bow is a whole nother level of ongoing, probably one a month for Broken Bow, maybe some cases 2 a month. But really what we're trying to do is just to learn about their business, and that's the retention component. And so my old days at MPPD, when I was an account manager, you had to learn to know more about the business than maybe the guy that you're talking to that's in the business. Yeah. And so we did a lot of research, and so we try to do that as well. And so that's the important part of just a couple levels of economic development. And then, of course, you've got leadership. We're initiating, we're reorganizing the leadership Custer County this year to be more consistent on a consistent basis, but also to basically maybe even be more standalone. We'll see how that reorg comes out, and to get that going again. And leadership is critically important in economic development. We've talked about it here about the vision,
right?
And if you the leadership group of your organization, if they don't have a vision of where they want to take the organization, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to trip over each other. And so that's critically important, and that's the number one thing about being a leader, is knowing where you're going. And so those are some of the things. Of course, membership, retention, and sustainability is really important, getting out and talking to businesses. The roundtables will help us with that a little bit as well.
Yeah.
And then the other thing probably is just the workforce recruitment area, in the marketing, which we've talked about. We're going to have another meeting here in this week or next week, but marketing is so important to what we do in economic development, because if you don't continually tell your story, whether it's at a downturn or an upswing, and if you're not telling your story to locally and regionally and statewide and nationally about your community, or in our case, our county, once you lose that first step of knowledge about and telling that story, you have to recreate it again and again and again. So you have to continually have that story told. And so what we're working on is through our marketing group is to be able to have that continuity between all of the different levels of marketing and consistency. And so those are factors that are really important for us. So that when you look at the big picture in economic development, you have to package all of those things together and say, okay, how can we complete all of these things? And then that's where you maximize your resources. Really important for us to maximize our resources, and that just takes membership funds to be able to do that. We're not a government, high government funded organization. All the governments are equal members to everyone else. In a lot of cases, economic development will have a county or cities or communities pay maybe $25,000, $50,000 into an economic development group. With that, when you do that, there are certain things that have to happen, and that is you have a higher political purpose.
Yeah,
I'll say it that way.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this way, our organization is everyone is equal. And it's really one of the better laid out organizations that I've worked with, simply because everyone is equally at the table, and to get a lot done that way. And everyone is still a partner, and we still work with all the city and county governments and do the best that we can to fulfill their missions as well.
And that kind of goes back to where we started. A lot of those businesses, in fact, almost all of them, are small businesses that have that equal representation through the Custer County Economic Development, which is fantastic. And you have the industrial groups that you talked about, your BDs, your Sergeant Pipe, Sergeant Irrigation, Adams Land and Cattle, your larger businesses. But basically, it's accumulation of a lot of small businesses that make it so powerful.
And that's an interesting point, because you have a diversity of opinion and a diversity of policy steps when you have that broad group of representation, because the impact and the perspective of a small business is going to be a lot of times a little different slant than maybe the large industry. Mm-hmm. And so when you bring that's why you have a board of directors. You bring all of that opinion and all of that potential policy together, and you shake it out. What comes out of that is really the best decision that you can make for the community. And it's a wonderful process when it's done right, and you have the right kind of leadership to do that.
And a lot of the things that you've talked about aren't real visible. The housing, you can see that. You know, if you're going to build 3 houses and you get that done, you can go look and see what we built this year. But most of these others are a work in progress and little steps at a time. And patience is very, very important here. And as you've always told us, and gentlemen before you have, it would be great if another large manufacturer would come in, if we could support it with employees. It would be great if there was a big new shopping center out on the edge of town. But those things realistically are long shots, and you build a little piece at a time. That's kind of what works best, but it isn't real visible.
That's one of the immeasurables of economic development. I'll never forget. I had a project one time, and it was about a 300 employee manufacturer, and it had some high tech to it. And when they originally sent out the RFP to respond to with the criteria, they came back and we filled it out, and you get it in on a Wednesday and it has to be submitted by Monday. Mm-hmm. It's really short turnaround. You really got to be prepared for those things. And so when they came back, it was through the Department of Economic Development, one of their leads. And when it came back, they said there were 85 communities that submitted RFP responses, submittals for this project, and they were going to whittle it down to 3 that they were going to look at. And so you look at that, I mean, and it was in Scottsbluff, I can say that. So it was, so I mean, we're not a real large community, and we're kind of remote. So you have to factor in all of those things into the competition. The Front Range was high on the list, you know.
Yeah, oh, sure.
And so you got to think about, well, we've got to have this, we want to have this. It's a lot of wants and gots, you know. But but when it boils right down to it, it takes me about 60 hours to do a response for an RFP on average. It takes a lot of time, and so it doesn't happen overnight. B, there's no guarantees. And C, you just don't have any idea what that criteria is going to be to see if you fit at all.
Yeah,
you know,
and what they're looking for, what they expect maybe as a carrot, and all of those sorts of things.
The incentives are the big deal anymore.
Yeah.
They used to say incentives are really after you've maybe you've cut it down to 2 communities, and you check all the X's and O's and make sure they got everything. And there are 2 factors that you can't control after that. The first is the incentives that you have. And because if you're just comparing incentives from one community to the other community and everything else matches up, guess what? They're going to go with the carrot, mm-hmm. right? The other thing is the thing that the curveball in a lot of projects is it's the spouse of the CEO or the plant manager, and they go, I like this community better because I like their school system better.
Okay.
And that that's the final decision. And I'll just say this, that the education, whether it's the school systems, the K through 12s, or the community college that you have to have both. Community college because of the trainings. And so it is that vitally important that you have a strong education system in your community, in our case, in our county, because that's where they're getting their people from. And that the education factor plays into the culture of the community. It really does. And so they do a lot of research on those things. They know exactly what the issues have been with education in a community, and all of those things. They pull up as much information. They have researchers that do that, site consultants. That's all they do all day is do research on communities. And so you have to really, really nurture and hold education accountable and nurture education to be that last and final decision-making component.
It's a big one, isn't it?
It's a huge one.
Yeah. Really interesting. Always enjoy it. And I'm glad that you were able to come in today, and look forward to talking to you about it in the future. And when you get that marketing meeting set up, let me know.
Yeah, got to get that set.
Okay.
We'll work on that.
Try to be there. It's going to be fascinating, too, because there's so many ways to market these days. We could do another whole show on that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, that could be a show right in and of itself.
Yeah. Some of it I wouldn't like.
Right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Keith Ellis, who heads up the Custer County Economic Development here in Custer County. We'll take a break. We'll catch up on some news. And 9 o'clock hour, we're going to tell you about some job openings and kind of get ready for basketball.
Sounds good.
All right, stay tuned.
Submit your items for an upcoming machinery consignment auction with Dave Davis Auction Service. The sale is set for Saturday, the 2nd of April, starting at 9 a.m. To receive proper advertising of items and to get on the flyer, get your list of consignments to the office by Monday, the 14th of March. For more information, call the office at 872-6413. You can visit DaveDavisAuction.com as well. Again, this machinery sale is April 2nd, and your items must be into the Dave Davis office by the 14th of March for proper advertising.
Stay up to date on your bank accounts no matter where your schedule takes you. Sign up for mobile or online banking with Bruning Bank to keep track of your accounts anywhere, anytime. At home, the gym, grocery store, day or night. Deposit checks, transfer between accounts, view transactions, and check balances. Set up bill pay so you never forget to pay a bill ever again. Ready to simplify your life? Download the app or visit bruningbank.com. Bruning Bank, member FDIC.
This is Chip with Nebraska Owners Insurance Agency, and we have just been appointed with North Star Insurance Company. North Star is one of the top insurance companies in the Midwest. As an independent agency, it's beneficial to have several companies to choose from to get the best coverage for the best price for you. Both Tim and I have ag experience and would be happy to...
gatherings, stop in to see Roxanne. She can help. It might be the very first Easter in a long time where you've been having lots of great conversations that you've been missing out on. Local, dependable service is available right in Broken Bow with free hearing evaluations and free office calls, free extended warranties on new hearing aids, and extended discounts for buying local. You don't need to travel. Just go and see Roxanne at Nebraska Land Hearing Center. Call 384-3852 to make an appointment. Located in the Broken Bow Chamber Building, 4 doors from Bow Bootery. Their business name is on the glass window in front. 384-3852 for Nebraska Land Hearing Center in Broken Bow.
Now, occupational therapy and speech therapy. Call 872-5111. Together empowering able movement. Team Physical Therapy can help you in all your therapy needs from babies to the older adult. Call 872-5111. We offer one-on-one therapy with the rehab specialist. Call 872-5111 or check us out on the web at myteampt.com.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
9:14 is your time. You're listening to the Get Up and Go Breakfast Show. Of course, we were visiting earlier with Steve Fowler with Grocery Cart, and it's no secret that inflation is up, and with the Ukraine situation, the gas is going to be even higher than it is already, and groceries will be a little bit higher as well. And we always talk a little bit about maybe, I don't know, understanding how we're a global market anymore. It's as much as we'd like to be just doing business with ourselves, certainly not that way when it comes to petroleum, energy, all sorts of things, buying back and forth. It's a global economy, and so we feel that when something like this happens. But I don't know if you've watched any of the video and so forth on our news media, what the Ukraine people are going through. I guess I can pay a little bit more for gas for what they're going through right now. And I think probably this week they're talking about discontinuing buying any petroleum, any oil, any sort of natural gas or anything from Russia by the U.S., which makes, I guess, to most people sense, because you really hate to be having sanctions against the country itself, Russia, and then buying products for them.
It doesn't, kind of makes the sanctions kind of not mean as much.
Yeah. So we'll probably see that this week. And then I think what they say, gas went up in some parts of the country 40 cents a gallon last week.
Yeah, if not more.
Yeah.
Some spikes we're seeing, I've heard kind of out on the West Coast, sometimes they're paying well into the $4 per gallon range.
And some kinds of gas up all the way up to $6 something, premium gases and so forth.
If you're running like 93 octane in your car or something like that, it gets pretty expensive. I know that our pickup truck is flex fuel, so we can run E85 in it, which is mostly ethanol, which comes back to corn and things like that, which is great. And ethanol price gas, if you can find it, is priced back at about what normal gas was before all of the prices rose up. So if you have one of those flex fuel vehicles, which if you don't know if you do or not, that could be something good to know. If your gas cap is yellow, that means you can put flex fuel gas into your vehicle all the way up to 85% ethanol. There aren't a ton of E85 spots around our particular area, but if you happen to be traveling and see one of those yellow handles, go for those if you have a yellow cap on your car.
But you need the yellow cap.
Got to have the yellow cap. Do not put E85. You will regret it. If you put E85 in a vehicle that is not flex fuel, it's not going to go well for you. So just be careful. Know what to run in your car.
Yeah. Well, we know what we're in for. It's easy to see it. Handwriting's on the wall. It's going to go up. It already has went up a lot. And you notice it when you fill your tank, when it keeps running, and you look up at what the total of the dollars are, and you're not full yet. And then when you get full, you go, wow, that cost me $20 more than it did last time. We can handle it, and it's not easy for people who are struggling out there. And I guess the hard part is for people who, are tight right now, and then getting to work and getting back and forth to work and running the errands they need to run. It has an effect on us. But then again, when I see the people digging themselves out of rubble in Ukraine, it kind of puts it into perspective. But bottom line is it's going to go up, right?
Yep, it's going to go up, and all we can do is hope that things are put in place that make it not that way anymore. But in the meantime, our lights are on, our buildings are standing, and we've got places to live. It's all an effect of things that are going on to those people over there. I feel horrible for them. So it's just one of those situations where you just kind of really see how blessed you are to be in the situation you're in, just being in this country and in general.
Well said. Also, one of the things that we enjoy here in the United States is freedom of speech. And Russia now, because they don't want their citizens to really know what's going on, not only limit the information they get to their citizens, they also are now arresting people who are texting things that they don't want text. So Russian cops are now stopping people and reading their texts. And basically,
wow. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Russia has basically made news illegal. There's word police in Moscow are stopping random people in the street and demanding that they scroll through their text messages. Under Russian law, the cops don't need a warrant to search your phone or tablet. Last week, the Russian president signed a law banning all but state-run news media, and also are monitoring people's telephones to see what they're texting. That forced all the networks out of Russia, like CBS, CNN, and BBC, to close down their Russian bureaus and get out because they would not allow them to report anymore.
Wow. Well, that just kind of gives you a perspective as to how their mind works. To think in the year 2022 that you can stop the spread of information that you don't like, it is crazy.
It's nuts.
To be honest, in the year 2022, you are not going to stop the spread of information, and you're certainly not going to change people's ability to get their hands on information. That's just insane.
It is, and one of the tools that the Ukraine people are using is the technology to get the video pictures out and the word out from the country to the world so everybody can see it. Now, there was a video they showed yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, that was sent out by Ukraine, a citizen, of a Russian jet being shot down. Problem is that it was they had taken it off a video game.
Oh,
and showed it so they could show that that they were getting some of the Russians shot down, and I'm sure they have, according to news outlets, there have been some Russian planes shot down, but this was not authentic. It was not real, and so you get some of that as well. But the other part of that is the citizens there want everybody to know what's going on. So there are some people who are just dedicating, staying there in their homes and sending out video of what's going on where they live, which is pretty important.
Yeah.
And the Russians knocked out a lot of the communication, the internet and so forth in Russia, and Elon Musk has set up a satellite system so that they can still interact with the rest of the world. And the Ukrainian president thanked Elon Musk over the weekend. The billionaire repositioned his new Starlink satellite system over Ukraine so that they can have internet again.
Elon's quite the guy.
Wow.
He's kind of one of those billionaires that obviously didn't become a billionaire by sitting on his hands, but at the same time, he knows that he's in a position of power, and it's not the first time that he's done something that he didn't necessarily need to do just to help a fellow human being. So that Starlink internet is something that's going to be pretty big here in the next couple of years. It basically is satellite internet, but it can be set up anywhere. It seems to be a pretty big thing coming up right around the corner, even for maybe some of those of us here in Nebraska who are out in the country that have no access to any kind of sustainable, good internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a unit that you can set up yourself and put on your roof, and it connects to Elon's satellites up in the sky. It's pretty crazy.
Well, he's helped them out, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Also, 160 radio stations broadcast Give Peace a Chance for Ukraine. While Russian tanks and missiles rumbled through Ukraine, 160 radio stations around Europe played the same song at the exact time. John Lennon's Give Peace a Chance was blasted by stations in 28 European countries, including the Ukraine radio. On Friday morning, the song could be heard blaring from apartments and cars all over the capital. So the radio stations pulled through as well. So out of all this bad, there's some good things happening.
Mm-hmm.
So that was some news about that situation, which most people are watching pretty closely because it affects everyone, no doubt about it. So it's 9:23, almost 9:24. So I'm going to reach over here and grab Livia's Boutique's $25 gift certificate. So here's news about the boutique. They're extending their sale from last week, so if you are worried about missing it, you're in luck. Livia's is offering 30% off all week in-store and online. A great time to snag some cold weather clothes at awesome prices. Name brands at unbelievable discounts. Wrangler, Cinch, Under Armour. Lots of inventory because of late shipments that should have been here last fall are now just showing up. So they're open Tuesday through Thursday 10 to 6, Friday 10 to 5, and Saturday 10 to 4 on the main street of Ansley or online at liviasboutique.com. So late freight is now on sale at Livia's Boutique in Ansley. Your chance to save some money, just what we were talking about.
There you go. Kind of one of those unfortunate things. No matter when they order it, they've still got to sell it when it comes in.
Yeah,
so,
gosh.
Yeah.
So be the second caller at 872-2801 and win yourself a $25 gift card to Livia's Boutique in Ansley. 872-2801.
Weeds rob you of yield potential, so rob them the chance to grow. You can count on powerful corn herbicide solutions from Corteva Agriscience like Resicor herbicide so you can forget about weeds and power on. Learn more at poweroverweeds.com/power.
Introducing Kyber soybean herbicide from Corteva Agriscience, the newest premium Group 15 pre-emergent solution. Kyber delivers 3 effective modes of action for long-lasting residual activity, meaning your fields won't just be clean, they'll be Kyber clean. And what is Kyber clean? Well, it's a little like...
Nice fields.
See the difference at kyberherbicide.com/soy. That's KYBER herbicide.com/soy.
Weeds rob you of yield potential, so rob them the chance to grow. You can count on powerful corn herbicide solutions from Corteva Agriscience like Resicor herbicide so you can forget about weeds and power on. Learn more at poweroverweeds.com/power.
Tia is our winner. She was the second caller at 872-2801, and the phone is still ringing. They want that $25 gift card pretty bad. I don't blame you. Mm-hmm. Sale prices and $25 gift cards are a good combination.
Yes, they are.
Well, Jeremy, thanks for helping out here today. Now, we're going to be splitting up here and doing some early engineering for the ball games, which are coming up. You want to preview those real quick again?
Yeah, so we've got 2 radio stations, and we've got 2 area girls basketball teams that are playing at exactly the same time this morning. So we've got you covered in both instances on whether you're listening on your radio, online, or on the app. All of those avenues are free and available to you no matter where in the world you want to listen. You can listen for free. Thanks